It's not my NASCAR. This is a term that every NASCAR fan has either encountered at some point, or you've heard it, or you've said it. You might have done or had both done to you. This is nothing new. You see it in anything big enough and important enough to have people emotionally invested in it. Star Wars, for instance, is probably the worst at this, with arguments of which Star Wars is the best Star Wars. The original trilogy, the prequels, the Clone Wars, the Disney crap, all of it. In NASCAR, we're really seeing it between the new age fans and the old age fans. Boomers versus Zoomers, if you will. There's an entire generation of fans, myself included, who didn't get to see guys like Dale Earnhardt compete for championships or even race. To us, we learn about his career and death almost as lore that you have to go through to become a fan. Unlike older fans who got to see his greatness and the horrible nightmare that ended it. My point on this subject isn't to bring up this willy-nilly, but instead to show that there is a very real disconnect between these groups. NASCAR greatly varies nowadays, and the younger fan base is starting to get their footing and a voice out online. To younger and newer fans, NASCAR is the Gen 6 era, with guys like Truex, Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick dominating a playoff-filled Cup Series. To older, more tenured fans, it could be stock cars or Gen 4 cars, with guys like Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, maybe even somewhat Jimmy Johnson being who they think as the dominant drivers, while preferring the Winston Cup format and looking at the Chase and COT in many ways as the death of the sport. Sure, there are some of us who lean one way or another and are generally in the middle, but much like our modern political environment, fans are becoming more and more partisan against one another. And to be honest, it's stupid. It really is, but on a few different levels. But first off, I really just want to say people who are trying to convince others on social media that they shouldn't like what they do, it's stupid. Trust me, I disagree with a lot of people's opinions. And also don't like newer aspects of the sport. But unless people are actually starting something with me, I don't need to rain on their parade of enjoyment. They like it, that's their deal. Same goes for someone who's watched a sport for a long time if they post something about the past that they liked and they're reminiscing. If it's just harmless, leave them alone. I never understood going after people because they like the past. I know that it's the internet and it's gonna happen. But I think that in this difference, we as fans are missing out a huge opportunity for growth and the best of both aspects. The past should never be forgotten. I mean, if you've seen my channel, you know how much I believe in that statement. And this can be done without going back to 2003 with everything. Look at the throwback weekend tradition implemented for the Southern 500 at Darlington in 2015, no less. The voices of older fans were heard, and it was moved back to its date and has since reinvigorated a crown jewel race as rightfully one of the most anticipated races of the year. Conversely, younger and newer fans now have really been instrumental in the great changes and advancements we see in the sport as well. Social media and esports really are two big things that most have warmed up to. Since about 2012 with the Brad Keselowski Daytona 500 tweet seen around the world, NASCAR has been very aggressive at establishing a social media presence. And their accounts are quite humorous and really good, with many different online communities having come together from it. NASCAR has a great Twitter presence. They are vastly improving their YouTube channel that mixes content of both old and new, as well as their perfect TikTok account. There are also plenty of esports that really have given NASCAR a great advantage throughout the unprecedented pandemic. Now, with them about to open back up before any other major sport in America, they have added momentum now due to the esports wave. That very well may help NASCAR in the long term get a foothold back in pop culture. Who knows? It could happen. That's the important thing to remember. Your NASCAR, in quotes here, is a snapshot, one of millions. They're never going to be able to appease you or anyone else completely. Some people are just naturally resistant to change. Some are not and really are overboard with wanting change. Others are overly ambitious and leaving the past behind, while others are stuck in the past. While your NASCAR and my NASCAR may never, ever line up, our NASCAR can be something that many more around the world can enjoy. It may not be your NASCAR, but with an open point of view, it can be at least something that brings either a renewed sense of love for it or a continued or lengthened or heightened passion for it. So now I want to hear from all of you. In the comments down below, let me know, what is your favorite old school aspect of the sport? And what is your favorite new age change to the sport over the last couple years? While you're at it, drop a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. And until next time, have a good one.